Hey guys, and welcome to Charing Up With TBV. I've got a special episode today, and yeah, man, I'm really excited for this one. So today's guest, the Sanderson Show, is his personal channel, which is like an MMA, UFC, boxing type channel. Brilliant channel. Make sure to check it out. But he is one part of Team Koppish. If you don't know, you get to know. 40,000 subscribers on that channel. It's a Liverpool Fan channel. Mega. How they've got only 40,000 subs, I don't know, with nearly 20 million views, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah, welcome, Callum. How are you, bro?
Pleasure to be on, brother. How are you?
Yeah, man, doing good, man. Like I said, I'm excited to get you on. Because, you know, obviously me and you have had some back and forth is in like conversation, obviously not anything bad. But never really
nothing bad, definitely nothing
bad. But like I wanted to know more about you, you know what I mean? Because you only see what, you know, you allow us to see.
Of course.
But yeah, man, we could start with the main channel if you want, Team Koppish. Obviously I've been on there, and you've obviously done content for my main channel. But like how did you guys, like, who started it? Because there's obviously 3 of you, aren't there?
Yeah, so I actually started with 4 guys. So it was Matt and Drift, obviously, and there was 2 other guys. Gaz, who's constantly in the chat, still a good friend with Gaz. Another guy called Dev, who's no longer doing content at all. So those were the 4 guys that started. It was first called the Football Banter Show. So I didn't know Matt and Drift. So me and Matt go to the same barbers. So me and Matt naturally would start talking about football and stuff. And then my barber was like, oh, you know, Matt's got a Liverpool channel. I was like, no, I didn't know. Started watching his channel and then obviously became friends from there. At the time, I'd already started doing the Sanderson Show, which when I first started, it was football, boxing, and MMA, sorry. So I was doing that on the side and as well as working 9 to 5. And then I met Drifty for the first time after we lost the 17-18 Champions League final. Met him on a podcast, and obviously I'd seen Drifty because I'd seen him doing shows and stuff like that. So me and him would just speak and just hit it off, and then started just like they would invite me to do like guest appearances and stuff. So I was like, yeah, cool, really like kind of flattered by that. And then at the end of the 18-19 season, so just after we won the Champions League, they were like, look, we're going to rebrand and just make it a strictly a Liverpool channel. Would you come on board? And I was like, yeah, I'd love to. And then from sort of so from the beginning of the 19-20 season up until now, that's what Koppish has been. And we just kind of gone from there. So, but I think when we made it a Liverpool channel, I want to say we were on about 8,000 subs, and then now we're at 40. So it has grown. Obviously, when you said in the intro, we do wish it was on more than 40k as well. We're trying to find that formula and that algorithm which will help us get over to the 50s and 60s and 70ks. But yeah, we're still grateful for the 40.
Yeah, of course, 100%. Still, you know, obviously no offense to this, but the small margin that you do have, you've hit ridiculous, like 20 million is you know what I mean? And obviously, you know, let's get this clear straight away. It's not all about the views.
Of course.
It's, you know, the community that you have. You know, on the live chats, your chat's always just going up. But yeah, the Sanderson Show, I just looked at that. So you've been doing that for like 7 odd years.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a weird story for that one. So when did I start Sanderson Show? Officially, I started that, I think, I want to say the year after me and my missus got married, and we'd have been married 9 years this year. So yeah, about 7 years. So I started it, but then I stopped for a few years because, crazy story. So my first son, he's 6 now, and we were going to do a christening for him. I'll never forget. And I'd done filming on the Saturday, and on the Sunday was his christening. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to leave my stuff in the boot so I don't have to pack it up tomorrow, and I can just film the christening and stuff like that. Bro, I left out my house at like 6 in the morning on the Saturday or something, or the Sunday morning to go and pick up some stuff for the christening, and my boot was open, and I was like, this can't be, bro. They cleared me out. I'm talking about, they took both my cameras, my microphones, my lights, everything went. So I don't know if someone was watching the car. I don't know if someone just randomly was trying to open up cards. I know people get those like remote things now, but bro, like, so I had to stop doing Sanderson Show for about 3 years maybe, and then I started back a few years back and just thought, you know what, I'm gonna give it another go. A shout out to Luke Tanner and Jamie Phillips. They've been really helpful on that channel, especially with the watch alongs.
Yeah.
So yeah, started that back up, but then I changed. I didn't want to do football on there because I was obviously doing football with Koppish, and I didn't want there to kind of be that overlap at the time, and just wanted to do boxing and MMA, and then yeah, it's kind of grown from there. That one's a bit more tricky to navigate because, as you all know, football's so full on. It's hard sometimes to make time for other stuff, especially where I've got a young family as well. But I'd say between now and the end of the year, I'm looking to grow that to about 12K, hopefully. So that's the aim for that channel.
Yeah, no, I'm fully with you. I understand that. You know,
yeah.
Like, it's not just. I feel like some people might think it's just like the watch along. And it's like, nah, like
that's the easy bit.
Literally,
that's the easy bit.
Yeah. Then
sorry to cut you, bro. I admire you because you predominantly do your channel by yourself, right?
Yeah.
That blows my mind. Like, because you're doing Bundesliga games, you're doing Champions League games, which you're always going to be in the Champions League. You're doing German Cup games. You're doing any other games that come up on that scale as well. Like, that to me blows my mind. That's crazy. So kudos to you, man, because there's 3 of us doing it and we still find it tough. So big
up, man. Big up. My missus always calls me crazy.
And
I think with the game as a whole, I think I'm a bit obsessed with it.
We have to be though.
Yeah,
we have to be.
No, 100. What made you get into so the Sanderson Show was the first thing. What made you get into YouTube as a whole?
So I got a shout out to someone called Big J. So I don't know if you've ever heard of Cheeky Sport.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, so Joel Bayer, David Alorca, Akeem, and Jermaine. So me and Jermaine have been friends since I've been about 16 through a mutual friend. Okay. And again, Jay goes to the same barbers, and Jay's a Man United fan. So whenever we'd see each other, it'd be always banter between us with football and stuff. And he was like, Cal, why don't you do like stuff on, like, when you do YouTube? And I was just like, no way. I was like, you won't catch me doing that. And he was like, no, honestly, it's fine. And I was like, bro, I don't want to be on camera. I don't want all that comes with that. Like, I'm good just having chats in the barbershop and with friends. And he's like, look, you say that now, but once you do it, like, you'll be fine. And I was like, I doubt it. So like for about a year, he was like, every week, every time I'd see him, he'd be like, come to the studio and let's do a record. And I was like, nah. And one day he was just like, Cal, look, just trust me. You won't even notice the camera's there. If there's anything that happens, we can edit it out. Don't worry. Did the show and it did really well. And I got some good feedback in the comment section, everything. And he was just like, look, how did you find it? I was like, yeah, good, but I'm never going to do it again. And he's like, no, you started now. You have to. And I was like, no. And then it took like a few months for him to get me back on again. And I think I just started getting the buzz for it a little bit more. And then from there, he was just like, look, why don't you start your own channel? And I was like, I don't know. And then subsequently I did. And I think he might have actually been my first guest on the channel. Like as a solid, he did that for me because he didn't need to. Like Cheeky Sport, they were massive. They were like one of the first big fan channels. Them, AFTV were like the 2 big channels to begin with. And like he was just like, look, I help you get this off the ground. And he did that. And then, as I said, I started with football, boxing, and MMA, which looking back in hindsight is crazy because I was trying to cover all the big 6 games, all the boxing and all the MMA. And I was like, this is insane. There's no way I can do all of these. So then I was like, I need to try and figure out a way of whether I just do a Liverpool thing. But as I said, when my camera equipment all got stolen, I was just like, I just stopped. And then when I was able to buy all my stuff back, then I thought, yeah, let me resume now.
How much do you think you lost there? A lot.
In terms of cash?
Yeah.
Oh, so my camera when I first bought, I had 2 cameras. One was 700 at the time of buying it. The other one was 500. Then I would have had I think I'd have had 3 microphones, probably all costing about £50 each. Yeah. Lights would have been probably another 100. Camera bags and all that stuff. Shall I be honest with you though, bro? If I'm going to be completely transparent, losing that stuff from a monetary point hurt a lot. It was the memory cards in there because the memory cards that they had the first moments of my first son being born. And like, if I literally put out stuff on Facebook and was like, I know people are going to think I'm trying to catch you out here, which I kind of was because I didn't want to find the person who did it. I just wanted the memory cards back at that point because I knew I wasn't going to get cameras back unless I caught the people who did it. but even that's going to lead into something else, you know what I mean? And I was just like, I just want the memory cards, because those first moments of my son, that I'll never get those back again, innit? So that's the bit that really, where I'm like, if I catch those people one day, I'm going to strangle them, because that was my first child, and mine and my wife's first child, and that was the first moments of his birth and seeing him. So like, yeah, that's the most frustrating thing from that. But from a monetary point, yeah, it stung as well, because I got made redundant, and I got a payout from a redundancy from a job. So that was what was able and allow me to get all that equipment. So I'm like, oh, good, nice. Like that, God's blessed me here. He's sorted it out. And then to go and buy everything and then to lose everything was a killer, man.
Yeah, no, but that's the thing, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, you can make more money, you can buy more cameras. Like,
yeah,
they're twisted. No one should be stealing stuff.
No, you're right. It's the memories. Once the memories
I do understand. You know, me being a father myself, you know, that's ridiculously precious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you'll know this again for being a father.
Yeah.
The amount of speed, it goes too quick.
Bro, like, how many do you have?
I just have one little girl.
How old your daughter, if you don't mind?
9. 9
Oh, okay, so yeah, I've got a 6-year-old, a 4-year-old, and a 2-year-old.
Okay.
And it's like, bro, like, I look at my 6-year-old and I think, like, his lifespan, so much has changed in my life, in his lifespan. And it's just like, from being at our old flat to them buying a house and buying a new car, and just then doing Koppish, doing the Sanderson Show, juggling that with other things, and having 2 other children. Like, bro, it goes so quick, so quick. Like, I look at him and I'm like, how you're gonna be 7 this year? Like, I remember when we found out we were pregnant with you, like, and doing the first scans, and me finding out we're having a boy first. And now I look at him and we're like having full-blown conversations. I take him and my other son to football, and we speak about football. He's asking me about life. He's like asking me life questions. I'm like, who are you? Like, what is going on there? And it must be even worse, because like, not worse as in, but like even more mind-boggling in the sense that you've got a 9-year-old, right? And like, bro, I can only compare my daughter to my son, but my daughter's 2. And she's on a whole nother wavelength to what my sons were at that age. So I can only imagine a 9-year-old daughter, how inquisitive, how smart, how intelligent a 9-year-old is in comparison to my 2-year-old daughter, who's doing stuff that I'm like, how do you even think to do that?
Oh, 1000%. And they always say as well that your first daughter is more like the father. So he's just like me, which I wish he was like my missus, because you know, I love my missus for you know. So, eventually I'm hoping, you know, it's going to be, you know, handbags, and she can go and do shopping with the mum. Because I'm not going shopping, I can tell you that right now. I am with you fully. And I feel that, because I'm only 27 going on 28, so we had her really early.
Okay.
So yeah, when I think of it, I'm like, oh yeah, 28 this year, and then the missus like, yeah, and we've got a 9-year-old. I'm like,
without getting too personal, do you guys want to have any more kids, or
we do, we definitely do, but it's, you know, financial, it's like,
I know,
it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? And then like career wise as well, like, obviously, you know, don't get it twisted, I would love to have, you know, more, but me doing this, you know, we're in a 2-bedroom flat now. Like, the baby noise would go straight into the microphone. You know what I mean? My missus is a chef, so that would destroy that. You know what I mean? So it's like career driven, but eventually, hopefully, we do have more, because there's not another woman I want to be with. You know, it's one of those. But so we went on the YouTube journey so far. The Sanderson Show. You've had some big guests on there. I'm sure you want to get bigger and bigger.
yeah.
Of course, like me being a YouTuber as well, you want to strive.
Yeah.
But what's it like getting some of the guests? Like, you've had UFC fighters on there, like Chris Barnett and stuff.
Chris Barnett. Shall I tell you what it is? And this, I hope this doesn't come across as arrogant or ungrateful, because I'm not, and I definitely don't want to portray that. I just always look at it and I think, brilliant, I've accomplished that. What's the next thing? And sometimes it's a healthy mindset, but sometimes it's not, because sometimes I should sit back and go, look, just taking what's happened. In terms of the first couple, it was just me just literally reaching out. And even now, I'll still reach out to people. You'll know I reached out to you when we were playing each other in a friendly.
Yeah.
I don't like or should I say I don't have this attitude of we're on 40,000 subs. I'm not reaching out to anyone. I don't care. Like if you're on 1 sub or you're on 100,000 subs, I'm still going to treat you with the same respect because I know what it's like being on 0 subs and having to build up. So who am I to be that arrogant about it? So when I got the first guest, I was like, I didn't think he'd respond to me, and he did, and I was like, oh, whoa. So like I don't really prep too much for my interviews because I don't want to over prep and then kind of not let the conversation flow. But for that one, I over prep. Like I went into so much of his history where I'd ask him questions, he'd be like, how did you know? And I was just like, I've just been doing my research. But then he was really cool. And then I think from doing the first one and then being able to show that to other people, I was able to kind of get a few more guests on. And fortunate to work with a journalist in America called Colin Crandall, who's been in the game for decades now. And then also, again, work with Luke and Jamie. They've helped me with the watch-alongs. And again, it's just me reaching out to people and trying to put my best foot forward and going from there. So that's literally what it is.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. It's like I do get that as well, though. Like in, you know, it's because you're in this mindset, and it's not like a 9-to-5 job where you're working for somebody else.
Yeah.
Like, you know, for Tesco, for instance, you're stocking shelves or whatever for YouTube. It is what's that next thing, that next thing. You know what I mean? And especially in like the football game as well, because it quite literally is the next game. Like as soon. And that goes for YouTube as a whole. Like I tried to explain to like some of the people that are on less subs than me, where it's like for me, I'm like not trying to be big headed or anything, but it's like as soon as the game's done, get your reaction out. Not 10 minutes, an hour, 2 hours, so on. It's straight away, because as soon as that day is gone, no one cares about that game. It's now on to the next one. You know what I mean? And it's like it's crazy. It really is mad.
But if I was to show you, I've got books, like paper books of my schedule from like now until the end of the month, because I have to, like, my missus, bless her, she doesn't really like football. She's got the Liverpool app on her phone, so like she'll tell me sometimes like, oh, we've got a game on this day, so you can't go out on this day, and I'm just like, yeah, you're right. Like I have to live my life and schedule my life around Liverpool and MMA. Like, so on the 7th of March, for example, so the 6th of March, I think Liverpool are playing, I want to say not West Ham, who are they playing? Playing Wolves in the FA Cup. Then on the Saturday, my kids are at 2 birthday parties, and I've got to see my brother in the evening. Then I've got UFC Saturday, like early hours of Sunday morning, and then I think I've got filming on the Sunday. She knows all of this from now, and like we're still in February, but I have to plan that far ahead, because kids' parties or anything that comes up, they do football, they do gymnastics, they do jiu-jitsu, bro. So like the fact that my missus has to have the app on her phone and she's not even a football fan, like it just goes to show how much planning goes behind the scenes. And it's why I have a lot of respect for other content creators like yourself and who do the solo thing. But not just that, one of the frustrations I have sometimes is when people would be like, oh, this, that, and the other about content creators. I'm like, really and truly, like, you see the Sky Sports and all that, as great as Gary Neville and Carragher and all those guys are, they have teams behind them who will prep stuff for them and do all that. We have to do it ourselves. Like, we have to go through the information. We have to reach out to people. We have to schedule things in. Like, look how like much we've had to go back and forth to schedule this in because of your schedule with Champions League and La Ligue and my schedule. But like, obviously we've made it happen. So like, I just don't think people sometimes understand what goes into being a content creator, especially when we're serious about it. Obviously, there's content creators out there who kind of just take it for what it is, but we're serious about this, and the work that goes into it. Like, being on camera is the easiest bit. I keep on telling everyone, thumbnails, finding statistics, head-to-head comparisons for teams, and watching press conferences, watching training videos. We have to do all these things that a lot of people don't have to do in the quote-unquote the mainstream media. Yeah,
no, I'm fully with you, because you know, it literally bang on is bang on. And going. Obviously, I don't want to get too personal because this is about you, but like, I do feel like you do have to have a good woman behind you. You know what I mean? And from what you were saying, like obviously it's a bit different because obviously you're doing the MMA channel, the boxing and so on and so forth, and then Koppish, where like my missus is the same though. She's like it's already pen and paper. Like we had an argument, and I don't mind sharing this because it's not any deep. So she for Christmas we went to Longley Light Festival.
Okay.
Right, and so months in advance, it's like I'm on my phone looking at the Bayern games. Obviously, you don't know about Champions League and all of that, but I was like, there most definitely will not be a game here, right? Next minute, it comes closer and closer to that time, and Bayern Munich have changed their thing, so it was going to be on a Saturday. They changed it to a Sunday. I'm like, you booked it on the day, because obviously in my head, I'm like just content focused. I'm like, you booked it on the day, and she's like, no, I haven't. And we're like having this argument, where it's like, I was blaming her, and then I went back on my schedule on my computer, and it said to Saturday. Bro,
that humble pie. How did that humble pie taste?
Yeah, not good, not good. You never want to let your lady be right. So that was a bit peak.
Yeah, me and my missus have the same thing all the time. Like, again, and I can't even be mad at her. Like, we'll get to the weekend, and obviously she works a 9 to 5. I do this. We've got 3 kids, so like when we get to the weekend, there'll be times where she just wants to chill, and I'm just like, I've got a weekend where I'm booked up with games and stuff, and I know she's frustrated, but I think because she sees my work ethic and stuff, I think she I don't know if I would say the word accepts, but she tolerates it.
Yeah.
Which, and again, can't be mad at her. I understand it, because she's obviously, anytime I'm doing stuff, she's having to sacrifice, and she's obviously got to look after the kids if I'm filming and stuff like that. And obviously she works Monday to Friday, so she's obviously tired as well. But I think because she sees how hard I work and the effort I put in, I think as the years have gone on, it's become an easier conversation. But yeah, I'm very fortunate with the woman I have. Like, we've been together, well, in a month's time, we would have been together 15 years, and we'd have been married 9 years in June. So I'm very fortunate, man. Like, really, really grateful for her and all the things that she does, and obviously blessed me with 3 amazing kids as well. So yeah, I ain't going nowhere as long as she ain't going anywhere.
Yeah. I feel that 100. I feel that 100. I feel like I've loved this conversation so far, but I haven't asked you how you got into Liverpool.
Okay.
How did you get into, like, do you have roots into Liverpool? Or?
No, not really. So my brother, who's 11 years older than me, he supports Liverpool, but he's more of a casual fan. So he never really forced football onto me. If I'm going to be honest, the first football match I watched was Liverpool versus Arsenal, and it was when Robbie Fowler scored a hat-trick in 4 minutes. And literally just that, I think I must have been about 4 at the time, 4 or 5. Just watching that, I was just like, oh, that's my guy, Robbie Fowler. Like, he scored a hat-trick that quick. And from there, it was just Liverpool, and then Steve McManaman. So Robbie Fowler's the first player that, like, captured my imagination. Then Steve McManaman, then Michael Owen, and then from there, it was just a spiral after that. And then Gerrard, you'll probably know from hearing me say it on camera, I've got 3 kids, but I don't use their real names. I call them nicknames. So I call my oldest Stevie, my second Robbie, and my youngest Alonso, because they're some of my favorite players. So like the whole Liverpool affiliation from then, and like even my mum, like me and my mum will joke around now. She'll just be like, I'm not surprised you're doing something to do with football in Liverpool, because you've been football mad as long as I can remember. So it's just like, I just love football, man. And I'm quite a big advocate that I believe, obviously, if you're physically able to that all children should do sports, boys and girls, because I've met some of my best friends through football, boxing, and MMA, and doing training and stuff. Plus, it's built my confidence. It naturally gives you fitness as well. As you get older, obviously, it's difficult to keep up with those things, especially responsibilities. But like my kids, they both do football, they both do gymnastics. The older one does jiu-jitsu, but the younger one will start soon. And then I'm also going to get them into Muay Thai as well, because not that I want them to be out there fighting, but God forbid anyone does start, and then hopefully they can defend themselves or each other. And also just having that confidence, but also making friends just outside of school as well, because it's learning how to interact with different people in different stages. But football and Liverpool, it's I like outside of my family and friends, like that's my biggest thing, man, in life.
No, I'm with you fully.
How did you get into Bayern?
Robin. It's actually quite funny.
Okay. So Drift. That's Drifty's favorite player, I think, of all time. Or, no, second favorite. R9's his favorite. Robin's his second favorite.
Yeah, so it's quite funny you say like, oh yeah, I watched Fowler, and then that's my guy. Like,
yeah,
it's the same with me, but with Iron Robin. But the first game I actually watched of him was the Champions League final where we lost. You know, the Chelsea one where they won.
Yeah. And he missed a penalty in that game, right?
Yeah. And then the redemption. That was like I was like, this old guy is doing a madness. What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, and at the time we had the games were on ITV. We were able to watch it, obviously. And that was and then from then Thomas Muller, so on and so forth, Neuer, so on. But yeah, no, Iron Robin, without a doubt, he's my guy. He will always be my guy.
You're gonna hate me because we had this debate on Koppish about a week and a half ago. As great as I think Robin is, I think Salah's the better footballer overall. You're livid. I can see it.
The thing is,
or is this where we cut the interview? And
get out. No, like the thing is, I've always, me personally, I don't know if you remember when we last did a show. It was a long time ago, but I don't like Salah. I don't know what it is. It's not anything, nothing racial or anything like that.
No,
none of that madness. I just never liked him. I never liked his style or anything. I clicked it the other day. I think it's because he, in my opinion, is a striker, but playing on the right wing. Okay. And I was like, so he's not a winger. That's why I don't like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was like, damn it. Like the whole time I haven't liked, like, obviously you've got to respect the goals. The goals or the amount of goals you can score is ridiculous. But yeah, you put me on the spot there. I still have to go Robin, but that's
of course. I really do rate Robin. I just maybe I just overrate Salah, but I understand. I think with Salah, it's a lot of it's to do with aesthetics. I don't think he looks the prettiest on the foot, whereas Robin, when he was on the ball, he just looked so elegant.
Yeah.
So he just looked graceful on the pitch, and then when you'd shoot, when you'd cut in on the left foot and you'd put it top bins, you're just like, that looks gorgeous. Whereas Salah looks a little bit more rough and tumble.
Yeah. The numbers that man can produce, those ridiculous, like ridiculous. Liverpool as a whole, though, best Liverpool memory.
Oh, he's put me on the spot. Best Liverpool memory.
Like while I let you think, like for me personally, yes, we won a six-tuple in 2020. But because of COVID and all of that,
you couldn't get to enjoy
it. Personally feel like the 2013 team and season was better, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, like, would it be winning that Prem or would it be the Champions League? Because the Champions League was mad.
Yeah. It's hard because you got the two Prems and the two Champions Leagues.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
So the 2005 one was so special because Gerrard and the comeback and the miracle. That for me, and like I'll never forget where I was and who I watched the game with and everything. Like that will just always stand out. The 18-19 Champions League, I actually remember that, like the Barcelona game, the comeback was for me as big as winning the trophy against Spurs because the game was quite lackluster, whereas the semi-final was insane. Yeah. And then obviously it being Klopp's big trophy he won at Liverpool, his first major. Then the Premier League, I'm like you, the 1921 was difficult because it was in COVID, and we obviously couldn't go to a parade or celebrate it. And then the most recent one, I was able to get to the parade and celebrate that. So that was really special. And where we've obviously been doing Koppish for a while as well, we had a lot of people come up and say nice things to us. It might be the parade, man.
Yeah.
Being in the city celebrating with millions of other Liverpool fans, I say hundreds of thousands of other Liverpool fans, and it was really special, man. It was really, but all four of those moments are the standout ones.
Yeah, no, I can see that, and it's quite funny that like your main guy is the guy I hate. I can't stand Klopp. Obviously because
I forget. Is it a hate because obviously he stopped you guys winning the leagues and he was just a pain in your side for such a long time? But do you think I said he would never have gone to Bayern. No, he made that pretty clear.
No. I did. The thing is, I always get the question, because obviously now that he's not in management, I know obviously he's with RB Leipzig, but now that he's not with management and everything, they're like, oh, do you think he could come back? And I'm like, no, he's we've had people winning Champions Leagues with Dortmund. I'm pretty sure we had that manager and he got us back to where we should be. But he's so pro the you never walk alone, the whole that whole thing. I just don't see it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I don't think he'd thrive at a club that expects to win. Yeah. I love Klopp. He's my favorite manager. He does. And to be honest, if I'm going to be completely transparent, towards the end of his tenure at Liverpool, that was my biggest frustration with him, because he'd still be playing on the underdog thing, and I'd be like, we'd already won the Champions League and a Prem under you, Klopp. And we compete with City every season. We're no longer underdogs, so let's move on from there now. But I suppose it's the way he got the players motivated. But yeah, and that is, I would have loved to have seen. Obviously, I'm glad we were his last club, but I'd like to see what he would have been like at a club where the expectation was to win, as opposed to it being the bonus if they won.
Yeah,
I think that could have changed a lot.
Obviously, I don't like him anyway. Obviously, you've got to respect, what he's done and everything. But the whole RB Leipzig thing from obviously, I'm not German, I'm English, but being a German supporting fan, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Him going back on his word and going for that job is a madness.
Can you explain? Can you break that down? Because we don't really get the in and outs of it. What is that? Because all right, so I know RB Leipzig is part of the Red Bull group, or the RB group as they now call it, and I'm guessing that was a big no for German teams, that they were introduced into the leagues how they were. What is it about the whole RB issue?
So basically in Germany it's a 50+1. So it's 50, you can only have a certain amount of money coming in basically from investors and whatever. So they're all fan owned clubs. Yeah. So they Red Bull take over this club. I can't remember off the top of my head what the name of the original club was, but it definitely wasn't what it is. They just pump money in. They basically did the City thing. But in a difference, obviously what City's done is still a madness, but it was allowed in certain senses, you know what I mean? Where this has always been 50+1. Always been 50+1. And then Klopp, obviously being pro Dortmund, was so against them because they went against all of the morals, and obviously him being German and playing and so on, he, to go against those morals, in that sense. No, don't get it twisted, things change. You know what I mean? Things change.
Very handsome.
When Red Bull come in with that cash, you're setting up your kids. You know what I mean? So I get it from a father's standpoint, but it's just those morals, man, and they're hated. Borussia Dortmund are our biggest rivals, in the modern era. But if we lost, I would rather lose 10-0 to Borussia Dortmund every single time we played to them than lose to RB Leipzig. I hate them. Wow. They're scum, straight scum. Because
is that a feeling in Germany then? Because
wow,
I didn't realize it was like
we play them. Every single time we play them, they have an FUCK RB.
Wow.
Yeah. So they're really, really hated.
Wow, I didn't realize it was like that. I didn't realize.
Yeah, it's bad. I wouldn't say it's like Rangers versus Celtic or anything like that, but it's screw you basically. Because they went against the culture basically.
Do you think you'll see more of that happening in German football, or do you not?
I really hope not. A lot of the Bayern higher ups and so on are talking about abolishing it, and it will ruin our club.
When you say abolish, you talk about the 50+1 rule.
The 50+1 rule, because we're Bayern Munich and we're the top dog.
Yeah.
Most clubs are probably going to follow suit if Bayern do something. So if that's the case, and then don't get it twisted, Bayern Munich will still be the biggest club because we're going to probably get Saudi.
I was going to say, wouldn't you guys would be the most the team that benefits the most from it, right?
Yeah, but I personally hate Real Madrid because of the way that they get players. You obviously hate them as well. I get it, but when they get players, they tap players, all of it. It's so scummy, and I just can't stand it. And I feel like we would go against that. Like the Champions League team that won the sextuple, that team cost 100 million overall.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, you know, players getting in for free and so on and so forth. So,
you brought 3 players from the academy with that team as well. Like, if I'm not mistaken, was Lam in that team, or was that no,
just after Alaba come through our academy? I'm pretty sure. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong with that one.
You got Thiago for quite cheap, and
Thiago Alcantara, man.
Don't. He's got a special place in our heart. So imagine, so we've got our rankings board, and it's from 0 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
Above 10, we've got a category called Alcantara, which means you performed even better than a 10. That, and like, literally it's been called the Alcantara. Like, and
that's crazy because you guys didn't really have him for long either.
Exactly, but the impression, like, again, he's one of those players who on the ball looked elegant, but he was so effective as well. Like, his game performance against Man United in a 4-0 win in the quad chasing season, I haven't seen a performance like that in a long time. And look, even when we got linked with him, when he was killing it for you guys in the Champions League and in the league, I was just like, we're not getting Thiago. I'm not going to sell Thiago. And then when we actually got him, I was just like, oh my word, this is insane. But he's fantastic.
I was crushed when he left.
Yeah,
he is an underrated player. Like,
he is.
He goes up there with Cruz.
Yeah, 100%.
But because Bayern Munich isn't the PR-driven team, you know what I mean? It's one of those. But yeah, going on to MMA football. Obviously, the Sanderson Show, obviously boxing as well. And I know, obviously, you know, I've been in your streams watching them. And I see the passion from obviously all of you guys with it, like combat sport from a male dominant thing anyways, like amazing. What is it about UFC though, for you personally?
Oh, if I'm going to be honest, it's probably the lack of competition at the moment, if I'm going to be honest. Like before there was Strike Force. I still watch Cage Warriors from time to time. There was Bellator, but all that's kind of gone now. And it's like, it's annoying because I watch the UFC and I'm like, it's obviously the premier organization, but I also watch it and think you're doing things half-assed because you know you can get away with it. So like, I've been following UFC since, I want to say, like, since Tough and the Ultimate Fighter 1, where it was Stephen Bonner and Forrest Griffin. And I remember watching the fights and just how invested Dana White was in just making sure the product was as good as it is. Whereas now, when he announced this fight, it's like, you don't care. He doesn't even know half the fighters, it seems. He mispronounces names. He craps on the fighters when you're the promoter who's meant to be uplifting these fighters. And I look at it and I'm just like, I'm only watching this because I enjoy the fights and the action. But really and truly, it kind of goes everything against that I believe in terms of how an organization or a sports entity should be run. Underpaid fighters, undercut fighters, treat a lot of the fighters like crap. A lot of fighters are still having to work as well as train, and then you're expecting them to put on these blockbuster fights. You moan at when a fighter doesn't have a quote unquote exciting fight, but are you there for that fighter when they're weeks and months after that having that exciting fight? You helping with their medical bills? You helping with childcare? You helping with when their partner's having to do all the work and stuff around the house? And it's like, from someone who has seen him do what he's done to now, I've lost a lot of respect for Dana, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, I'm exactly the same. And I think mainly because of us being, you know, English, you know, the treatment of Tom Aspinall is disgusting. Like, I would love for someone to poke Dana White in the eye, to be honest with you, because like heavyweights are the don, you know, they're the dons in all sport, you know what I mean? And then he was they should have slapped a rocket to that guy's backside, man, because he's so good. Like, Tom Aspinall is ridiculously good. And now he might not even ever fight again because of his eyes. It's disgusting.
Even the way he was treated with the whole John Jones situation is terrible. Like,
because I know that they'll never put numbers out there, you know, like, for instance, I'm never going to ask you how much you've made from Koppish. Rude, straight rude. I would love to know how much Tom was going to get, because obviously all of the stuff out there was John was getting 30 mil.
Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it?
You know what I mean? So like, and he still didn't took it, the pussy.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I don't even know if Tom would have made a mil.
Crazy.
That's crazy. When do you know what? I'm glad you said that, because the whole thing has always been, what's Jones gonna get? How much is he gonna get? What's Tom getting?
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you've seen, like, since Conor Ben signed a deal with Zoo for Boxing, how many of the fighters have cut, like MVP spoken about Sean O'Malley. And I was like, if you're a UFC fighter and all you've been hearing for years is, no, this is how much you're getting, this is how much you're making, and then you see a boxer who hasn't achieved anything of what you've achieved getting 15 times what you make for a fight, you'd be livid. So I don't know how Dana's going to juggle that, because he's going to get a lot of backlash from that, in my opinion.
No, I'm with you fully. Who is your favorite UFC fighter of all time?
Demetrius Johnson.
Oh,
yeah,
let's go.
Mouse.
That's the same.
Yeah, he's oh man, again, don't get me wrong, there's other fighters I love because of their personality or fighting style or whatever, but Demetrius, man, everything about his game was just so crisp. And again, I've done a bit of training in different forms of martial arts and stuff, nothing obviously to a high level, of course. But like, I know how accurate you got to be to land a clean punch on someone. I know how accurate you've got to be to land a clean kick on someone without hurting yourself or putting yourself in danger. And the way he was just able to navigate the different arts and to merge them all together, the finishes he got, like that suplex armbar, we'll never see anything like that again. And he'd get finishes a second before the fight ends when he's cruising to a victory. And he wasn't brash, he wasn't arrogant, he wasn't loud. Like, don't get me wrong, early Conor McGregor loved him. Biggest Conor McGregor fan back in the day, but Mighty Mouse for me is the GOAT. Yeah, loved GSP as well, though. Loved GSP.
He's the GOAT for me as well. Mighty Mouse.
So good.
And even now, like Arman Sarukian, the other day I seen that he's training with him, and like he's taking him down and everything. It's like, this guy's tiny. Like Mighty Mouse compared to these other people is tiny.
Yeah.
But no, without a doubt, he's the GOAT. You know what I mean? And I'm there's a bit of a weird part of me that where it's like they really did mess up with the whole swap to one championship, because obviously they thought Ben Askren was gonna come in and be this next big thing, so on and so forth. Then Jorge Masvidal need him in the head, and that obviously big up to him, because obviously he's recovering from the stuff. But no, Mighty Mouse for me. I don't know. Do you watch his channel? Because I'm always watching.
Oh, bruv, he's one of my most viewed stuff. I'll be honest with you, from a business standpoint, trading Mighty Mouse and I think it was Eddie Alvarez at the time for Ben Askren was the best that they did for business, because Ben brought a lot of eyes to the welterweight division. Masvidal became a pay-per-view star, which then elevated Usman, elevated Colby Covington, Darren Till. So from a business standpoint, it probably elevated the organization, but from a fighter standpoint, losing Mighty Mouse, like, I think of some of the fights we could have seen with Mighty Mouse, like a trilogy with Henry Cejudo. Could Mighty Mouse have gone up to 35? Then you look at a new breed of flyweights like Pantoja, Davison Figueiredo, and Brandon Moreno. How do you fare against those guys? So it left a lot of questions to be answered. But again, I know one championship isn't the biggest of organizations, but obviously me being a Mighty Mouse fan, I watched all his fights there. And again, put on clinics. He fought Rod Tang in a mixed rules fight where the first round was Muay Thai, second round. And I train Muay Thai weekly, and the person I trained with was the super heavyweight champion in Britain at the time when he was actually fighting. But I kid you not, obviously I'm not a heavyweight. If I fought, I'd probably fight welterweight, 185 max. So this guy is way bigger than me, way stronger than me. And bro, I'll hit him. So we were not sparring. I was hitting pads, and he was sort of like engaging with me while I was hitting pads, and he was attacking me with the pads. And bro, I clipped him on the chin, and I stopped straight away. And he just looked at me and laughed and was like, "Bro, that didn't hurt." And I'm like, at the time, I'm like, I'm happy I didn't hurt you because I'm a friend. But at the same time, I was like, "That? What do you mean that didn't hurt?" Like, I just caught you clean on the tip of your chin, like that should hurt. And you're just like, "No, that's fine." And I'm like, so seeing a Muay Thai specialist fight a guy who's not a Muay Thai specialist, I know how much danger Mighty Mouse put himself in. But for him to able to navigate that and then get the win in the second round, again, just put my level of respect for him even higher.
No, I'm with you, man. Fully with you. Would you say, like, this is, I feel like this is a dumb question to ask, but would you say for your Sanderson Show YouTube channel, would you say that he's the main guy you would love to get?
Yeah. Him. So I've got a bucket list where I'm happy to share. So Mighty Mouse, I'd love to interview Mike Tyson.
Ooh.
That would be creme de la creme. I don't know how the interview would go, but I'd love to interview him. Lennox Lewis is another one. Rampage Jackson, I think, would be a fun interview. And Daniel Cormier. Those are probably my top 5 from a fighter's perspective.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mighty Mouse is the top of the list.
No, without that, because obviously the main, obviously not for you, but the main one overall, you know, everyone's going to say McGregor. You know what I mean? Because
McGregor's probably 6th on the list. Because I still don't know what's going on with him in terms of both inside and outside the cage. I don't know. Like, I love McGregor on the rise. There's nothing like it, man. I feel sorry for anyone who didn't live through McGregor's ascent, but I look at him now and I'm like, you're just not the guy that we all got behind, man. Like,
too much money in there.
Money and just bad choices as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fully, without a doubt. I agree with you fully. Because my favorite is Mighty Mouse, but is if we go back, is Chuck Liddell. He was my favorite. And I think that's mainly because of my stepdad, because he loved him. But yeah, like Chuck Liddell, he was a wrestler. I'm sure you know this.
Yeah,
he was a wrestler, and he never wrestled. Right? The only thing with wrestling is you know what I mean? Like, the guy's a psycho, and then the celebration after is you're mad. But yeah, man, I've gone over time, so I do apologize. But yeah, big up, bro. I'm definitely getting you on again at some point.
You got my number, bro. Never hesitate, man.
We could literally just do an MMA show.
100%.
It'd be sick. So big up to you for coming on. I'll have all the social links in the description. People, please go and check them out if you haven't already. And all of, you know what to do, smash likes, all that good stuff. But yeah, big up to everybody. Thank you for the support, and until then, I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Thanks for watching this video. Before you go, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, give us a like, give us a nice comment, leave a nice comment. These things go a long way. We're doing big things here, my friends. And if you haven't already, please check out all of the other content that's on the channel, from live shows to full podcasts, shorts, clips, and everything else. Have a great rest of your day. Hopefully everybody is doing good. Bye for now.